shocking expose. What we are seeing for the coalition is Atiku is being pushed by the northern blocs to lead the coalition.
Must the South continue to rule?
I've always said something that for Obi to grab power, it needs to be assertive and it needs to be decisive. In his indecisiveness right now has put the obedient groups, the obedient camps, and of course one of the most influential obedient social media, guy has come out to speak and challenge Obi. He said, Obi, you need to let us know where we stand. Are you part of the coalition? Are you leading the coalition? Are you deputizing Atiku? But because what we see all over the social media, all the traditional media, is that Atiku is the leader of the coalition. He might be the leader, he might not be the presidential candidate. But Obi, we need you to speak up. And immediately, the Atiku media wings, they release a poster, as you can have on my screen over there, that Atiku is going to be the flag bearer. Here is my news and, a wake-up call to Atiku. Atiku, Omalule. It's as simple as that. If Atiku cannot be a respectable elder statesman and a kingmaker at this point, at this juncture, I will, on behalf of Peter Obi, say it, that it will fail. Because Obi will not deputize Atiku. Obi is long past that. Obi has the political weight. Right? But Obi must justify that political weight, by the way. But Obi has that political weight. He has that political capital. He has that political relevance. He has that political clout to oust Tinubu. What Atiku needs to do is he must depart from the shenanigans that we've always known the North for. Because the North have always been said that they are too greedy, too covetous for power. They do not want to leave power for a moment. They just want to be in the corridor of power. Not just to be in the corridor of power. They want to be the decision maker within the corridor of power. And not just that, they want to be the one that will the final say. So we in the South are telling Atiku, if you say that you will be leading the coalition and you want to be the presidential candidate, well, Omar Lule, you are going to fail. It's as simple as that. Because I am telling you that it is still the North or the South. And these are the conversations. These are the conversations Obi must begin to have. Now, when David Ondain challenged Peter Obi, I can see there has been so many pandemonium. So many obedients came out and started challenging Obi that, Oga, yes. You see, while I was saying this some weeks and months ago, that Obi needs to be decisive in his actions. It needs to be stopped being reactionary. Obi must come out and say that I am part of the coalition, but that coalition must speak equality because it is still the turn of the South. It doesn't even have to openly, say that I want to lead. But he wants to say that I want to be the part of the coalition, and that coalition must speak to the spirits, of the Nigerian dichotomy. Period. What is the spirit of dichotomy? The spirit of Nigerian dichotomy is that the North will have his own turn of 8 years. The South will have its own turn of 8 years. The same very thing Atiku did, he left PDP. Atiku was everywhere saying it, that I left PDP because Jonathan, yes, might be failing in terms of insecurity, but I left because it is still the turn of the North. Yes, and then he went to APC. He contested alongside Buhari. Buhari defeated him, and Buhari became the flag bearer of APC. Atiku left because he felt that the South were trying to usurp their turn. So Obi must stand for the South, stand for his people. Then he can stand for Nigeria. Nigeria is a state. She knows that she is internally divided into two, the larger North and the larger South. In the South, we might have our subgroups. The Southeast, the South-South, the Southwest. In the North, they have their own subgroup. They have the Northeast, the Northwest, and the North Central, of course, which is currently contestable, right? Obi must accept his fate as a Nigerian, and as a Nigerian that he is, he must talk to the sentiment. I mean, why should an Atiku media team be releasing such posters and flyers? It is an affront on us as a Southerner. It's an affront on us because they are trying to tell us that if in 2014, 2015, that they can demand for the northern turn, so we the southerners cannot. No, 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 no. No. We will demand for the southern turn. Obi must align and demand for the southern turn. He cannot be saying that no, I don't vote for me because I am a southerner. No, Obi must say that it is the turn of the south, and the south deserve to complete its 8 years. Tinubu has done 4 years. Tinubu will be kicked out. Inshallah. What Obi must be saying is, I am part of the coalition. The coalition must fulfill the spirit of the Nigerian dichotomy. And if I finally emerge as the president of the coalition, I will vow to go for just one term so that the North will get the power back. These are the conversations. David Ondei is challenging Obi, and all of a sudden Obi said he's going to have an emergency online webinar with his supporters base, which are the obedience in their large millions. Obi must stop to be reactionary, because Tinubu, as a bad guy that he is always proactive. We know Tinubu is a very, 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 in fact, he's one of the most incompetent presidents we've ever had. He don't carry himself, go St. Lucia, go to flex, go to flenjo. You understand? He's so relaxed, he's so unbothered. The oppositions are not troubling him. So he's more or less like an emperor nobody can question. And this is why I said, for Nigeria to move forward, we must have people who are courageous. Yes. If Obi becomes the president with this attitude he carries, I don't know if he'll be able to challenge the northern oligarchs. I don't know, but he must change. I have said in some videos that radicalism is what gets you solutions and results in Nigeria. I've said it in a video that I made earlier, that it is radicalism, rascality, just your ability to be mad and question and fight that gets you result in Nigeria. Because Nigeria as it stands do not like gentle people. They take advantage of gentle people. You might be gentle, you want to go by the rules, you want to go by the court, you just want to be the good guy. The evil guy will come and buy over the judges. And then you know what happens next? You become the victim. Right? You become the aggressor, eventually becomes the winner, the victor. Instead of you, who is a victim, to becoming a victor, you become the loser. So Atiku once again must understand that the South have been reawakened. Finally, we know our rights, and we will not support someone who will go and deputize him. No. If Obi go and deputize Atiku, I can guarantee that he will lose his political relevance. Obi will not dare it. It is better Obi loses now. And maybe in 2031, Obi will now say, okay, I will run as vice president to anybody. Or he signs out. Either of it. But Obi, as at now, will be committing what we call political harakiri, political suicide. If he says, oh, it doesn't matter, there's nothing like Southern turn, let me deputize Atiku, let us just kick out. Oh God, there is something we call North and South, and it exists, and it is not ready to go. It won't go. For it to go, Nigeria will split. When Nigeria split, when I have my Southwest region that we proudly call the Oduduwa Republic, when my brothers in the Southeast have their own region, that is what called the Biafrans, then within that our little fold of a country, we can say that, okay, there won't be anything called the Ijebus, the Oyos. We are all Yoruba, so it doesn't matter. We do not want bang bang. We will not be talking about ideology. I am a capitalism. I am inclined to capitalism. Right wing. I am inclined to socialism. Left wing. I am liberalism. Maybe just you know what I mean. But for now, if you cannot be playing politics of Yankee, even in the US, in the UK, they are very tribal in their politics. I mean, there's a guy who wants to go for mayor of Florida, if I'm not mistaken. Is it Florida of Chicago? That guy is a Muslim. He's not an American, right? By his family blood ties. He might be an American, maybe by birth, but by parenthood, he's not American. His parents are from, I think, is it India or one of these Asian countries that is Muslim, highly Muslim populated. The Americans they are beginning to just, they are so tribalistic towards him. They're telling that Islam, no, a Muslim man must not become this. Is that not bigotry? Because they want to preserve. They don't want to watch their people get eroded. They don't want to get their people heavily Islamized. That is for America. America that is like 600 years ahead of us in democracy. Those ones. They don't they practice democracy in the what? Is it in this early 18th centuries, 17, 16, when they collect their independence. They don't they practice democracies in that time. So now you, because you want to play, I don't know what sentiment my guy is trying, who is trying to please. You think if it was the turn of the North and Tinubu is the current president and Tinubu says he wants to go a third term, or Atiku, it is the turn of this, he will say it is the turn of the North, that Tinubu. So what is the big deal? You see, I have come to that realization that why we in the South, we have always felt felt cheated, why we've always felt we are behind the North in politics. It's simple because we have had leaders who are trying to be politically correct when they shouldn't. We have had leaders who are selfish, leaders who lack the courage. Yes. We have seen how the North will tell us that Tinubu's tax bill wants to destroy the North, he wants to destroy the religion. We know how they openly bargained. They went religious. They started saying that Tinubu wants to take away VAT because we are doing Sharia. So Tinubu wants us to lift our Sharia. We should start drinking alcohol so that we can have a share of the VAT. Those were the rhetorics they pushed until that tax bill was now what was relooked in, was reviewed, reevaluated, and eventually the derivation percentage that was supposed to be 60% was now taken to 30%. It was supposed to be increased by from 20 to 60. That's about 300%. It was just barely increased by 50%. That's 20% to 30%. Why? What did they do? They were pushing the northern interest. We must begin to push the southern interest as a collective. If Obi cannot do it, then he will just be pushed aside because the North know what they do. These guys are just by God. It is clear to me, like night and day. You cannot be saying that I am a pan-Nigerian. Okay, now push, they go push you aside. Not waiting they do for Nnamdi Azikiwe. Nnamdi Azikiwe they form a pan-Nigeria. What did they make him? They made him a ceremonial president. A ceremonial president. Tafawa Balewa, who was a premier, who was a prime minister, was calling the shots. Tafawa Balewa, who was a premier, was more or less like the chief of army staff, the grand commander of the armed forces. So he was just there like a laissez-faire leader who couldn't. He was just there, a Tom Dick leader. He couldn't make decisions. He couldn't take decisions. So whatever direction we are going come 2027, it is clear that the North are not joking. They've taken the decision. We want to grab the power. We are in this coalition to grab power. And not just to grab power for Obi. They are there to grab power for Atiku. It is when Obi begins to say such words that I've said, it will get to that point. Now go see what they are now. Say they said by Wednesday they will announce what the coalition, who are the people that consist the coalition. So who are the coalitors? Yes, no while I want to say. But for now, we suppose on they know, say, they are going to coalition. Now Obi will lead that coalition. Because Obi self suppose on they ring the bell for their ears. Say, okay, I am going to be a part of the coalition. But the coalition to be just, it must speak to the spirit of the Nigerian dichotomy. Because you cannot deny it. There is what we call the southern interest, and there's what we call the northern interest. The southern interest, we want to be progressive, we want to be productive, we want to have our own share of our 8 years. The northern interest is they want to be theocratic, they want to be Sharia, they want to have whatever. They want to forgive their Fulani elders who are killing them, They want to have this. It is their whole northern interest. Who cares? So since we have found ourselves in this country and we have not had leaders that will say, okay, let us collectively agree that this country cannot work the way we are. We cannot continue in this charade, this nonsense, this hypocrisy. Let us cut it into pieces. Let everybody go their way. For as long as we have not had such leaders, no leader can say he wants to get to that position of power if he will not ride on the sentiment of his regional people. It's not going to happen. Obasanjo rode on the sentiment. Have you guys forgotten? Obasanjo rode on the sentiment of the South because Abiola is a Southerner. People wanted, the Southerner was supposed to be the one that would have become the president. Abacha took the power. Okay, you know what? Let us cede it to the South. And they did. It was between Falaye and Obasanjo. Obasanjo became the president. 8 years. Immediately 8 years, Obasanjo wanted to try to break the status quo. What did he not do? In the North was about to go into anarchy. In less than 3 months, Obasanjo said, I thought Nigeria wanted capacity and competence. Okay. You know what? Peter Dili, you go and relax. And they went to go and bring Umar Yar'Adua. Yar'Adua will be your president. And we saw the, hey, say, Baba, rank a day, rank. And Umar Yar'Adua became the president. Listen, Umar Yar'Adua, there was no primaries. Umar Yar'Adua wasn't involved in any PDP primaries. Peter Odili was already the presidential candidate. He was already sharing money now. The very famous hot air balloon that was spraying money. Have you first forgotten? In Lagos, I saw it with my two korokoro eyes. Not be say then say. He was already doing such because he already knew he has a match as a president candidate. Then all of a sudden, we just had that sudden turnaround. What do you think happened? They told all the leader, Olga, we must respect the northern interest so that Nigeria no go split. So OP must understand that he has to stand up, just as his guys have said. David Ondei, he must speak to that southern sentiment. Yes, it is because he is a behemoth, but it seems he doesn't understand his worth and value yet. But I hope it does before it is too late. Because Atiku, as far as I'm concerned, is there to snatch and grab. And it's very unfortunate for me to see that Atiku becomes a leader. And Obi will say he wants to deputize. He's just as good as gone. I hope that doesn't happen. But one thing is true and guaranteed, that no matter how they try to outsmart or outplay the South in that coalition, the North will not get power by 2027. The South must complete, whether it is Tinubu, whether it's any other Southerner, the South will get that power. Otherwise, yes, I know, Nigeria will break up. It will indeed break up. If you're just joining, please kindly like, subscribe, and share. Bye for now.